Welcome to Day.Sports, a place where the average punter can get their 2 cents worth. It is a very rainy, gloomy day in Brisbane today. Echo Show public holiday though, so it is great to have a day off to get this video done for you guys. Had a massive weekend celebrating a few birthdays as well, so I didn't get a chance to watch as many games as I'd hoped. I was sitting right in front of the TV for the Broncos-Cowboys game at the pub on the weekend, and honestly, I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened in that game, so kind of gives you an idea how the weekend went in that case. But before we get into round 24 as well, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube and give the social medias a follow as well. I'll link all those in the description. Now for round 23, managed to get 7 out of 8, so one of the better weeks that I've had in a while. So we'll just jump straight into a little bit of accountability and a recap for that one. So off the bat, Storm, they beat the Rabbitohs 28-16. Not super convincing, obviously, reasonable win, but they fell asleep a little bit in the second half. I can't imagine they'd be super happy with that, and I'd be a bit concerned if I was a Storms fan. It is becoming a little bit of a habit, I think, of theirs at the moment. So we only tipped the one that was wrong, obviously, in that case, the Titans. I was convinced they were going to go out and stomp the Sharks, but they actually got touched up and they got beaten 44-0. Didn't even get any points on the board, which is a bit unfortunate for them. Penrith and Nathan Cleary, they gave me flashbacks to the grand final, the way that they beat Para. They had an enormous comeback, managed to beat them 36-34. Super unlucky for Gutho. That's twice now that he could have won the game for his team and managed to miss. So yeah, that hurts for them. But yeah, that's why Penrith is so good. Seagulls, they give it to Sticky's Raiders 46-24. Got that one. Broncos, they touched up the Cows in Townsville 42-18. Never doubted you, boys. Never doubted you. Now, Doggies, they get it done against the Dragons 28-10. Dolphins, they scrape a win at 34-32 with a worldie of a field goal as well. What was it? O'Sullivan. Absolutely laced it. Not even close to the bloody centre of the post at all from the left-hand side, left footer, and he just flies the thing over. It was an awesome shot from him. And the Knights, they beat the Tigers 34-18. Now, before I get into all the predictions and everything for this round, so for round 24, I just want to chat about a few other things that are going on in the world of sport. Now, the first thing everyone has talked about, we've all seen videos, and it was bad, and that was Raygun at the Olympics. When the Olympics announced, well, that they had breakdancing and everything like that, a lot of people coming out saying it was ridiculous. I had mates of mine, being like, oh, why the hell's that in there? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not mad at it. Why not? We've got skateboarding, other niche sports and stuff like that as well. I can see the kind of physical demand of the dancing and stuff like that there. I'm like, sure, why not have it in there? And then I woke up, I don't know what day it was, must have been Sunday morning or something like that. It's just all over social media. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, nah, kick them out. They have got to be done. It was that bad. It was ridiculously embarrassing that she was out there representing Australia and that was the performance that they put on. Like, it was just, it's put me off breaking altogether, honestly. Like, I got immersed in breakdancing for like a day, just like swiping through TikTok, and it was just all different stuff and what different moves mean and this and that. And I'm just like, it's all bad. It's cringe as hell. And don't get me wrong, respect for the people that do it. Some of them obviously are very talented and very good at it, but it's just not it. So yeah, great that that's out of the Olympics, but it was just no good. And I love the conspiracy theories that are kind of coming along with it now as well, that it's all just a massive setup. But like, I watched so much about it, I was just like, it can't be real. It honestly, at this point, can't be. She just flops so hard on a national stage, it is not even funny. Quite like figuratively and metaphorically as well. Like, it was just ridiculous. But yeah, it makes you wonder how she got there, and I guess more and more is coming out about it that supposedly she essentially set up the organization that, selected the people, and then her husband was like a coach and selector as well, so that probably explains a lot of it. But it is really unfortunate because I'm sure there's people out there that probably genuinely are good at that particular art form and never got the opportunity because we sent some 36-year-old that's like yawning at people before they do the fucking kangaroo jump. So yeah, they got their 15 minutes of fame. Honestly, they've probably taken over from the Huck Tour chick. But I would not say in a positive light. Like, this is not going to go down as like a Stephen Bradbury of like fucking Australian legend that got it done, against all odds, had a crack. It's just kind of like, nah, you're a bit of a joke, not going to lie. I wouldn't usually be this harsh on any sort of athlete or anything like that as well, but it's just yeah, pretty embarrassing and takes away, I think, a lot from the athletes that did extraordinarily well in the Olympics. Obviously, Australia, I think it was 18 golds, so that's a record for them in an Olympic Games. So congratulations to all of them. Did a massive job, but unfortunately has been overshadowed quite a bit by somebody that's doing like Homer Simpson dance moves. So but anyway, she'll get her 15 minutes of fame. It, I guess, has highlighted breakdancing in the Olympics. That's probably never going to be forgotten now. But yeah, it's a bit rough, and she just doesn't really seem to care too much about it as well. The fact that like just the entire world is taking the piss out of her and Australia for it is just a bit rough. You're seeing stuff like I think it's like I don't know Jimmy Kimmel or Saturday Night Live, whatever the hell those ones are. Like they're even like doing skits of it and stuff like that as well. So yeah, there you go, Raygun. So, anyway, on to some rugby league stuff. I want to talk about Hungry Flano. Oh, he didn't really take a big bite out of Stephen Crichton, and I guess now has been banned for 4 games for biting Stephen Crichton, so it's not, I guess, allegedly anymore. I guess he did bite him. Well, I guess we got footage of it, so it's pretty obvious at this stage, but bit of a weird situation. Should you be biting anyone out on the field? Absolutely not. That is pretty cooked. They're lucky it's not in the days where people could bloody us and punch on, because if somebody bit somebody else, that's exactly what would have been happening back in the day, that's for sure. There wouldn't be any biting, it'd just be hands getting thrown around. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Yeah, he's got the 4 game suspension at this point. There's no turning back from there. But, Stephen Crichton obviously looking to oppose his will on Flano while he's on top of him there, rubbing his face all over him and stuff like that, like right up in his grill type of thing. Maybe going a little bit too far, sticking the old nose in somebody else's mouth. I think it was Hello Sport were talking about it. Like, what do you think's going to happen if you did that? If you shove your nose in somebody's mouth, like you're just asking for the fucking nose to get bitten. So it's bleeding and stuff like that. But when you kind of look back on it as well, it's like obviously they've made up the decision, so it doesn't really matter at this stage. But it could have very well been done from the actual like rubbing his bloody head into old mate's mouth. Like, that's one way to cut your nose open instead of the full blown like having a chomp at somebody. And it wasn't one of those ones where he's like literally just jumped out Hannibal Lecter style trying to bite. It was very much like the nose was there for the taking. So yeah, a bit of a weird one. So yeah, biting bulldogs, I guess. So bit strange. It's funny hearing from like I guess players that have been done for it before as well, and the situation. But I think the last one that we had was Jackie White, and when he took a chunk out of Tyson Gamble, probably deserved it knowing what Tyson Gamble's like out on the pitch and just being an absolute pest. But he got 3 games for that, which I find a little bit weird that he got 3 and we're going 4 on this one as well. So I guess maybe denying it a little bit further, but yeah, either way, bit rough there for old Flano. But at the end of the day, you can't be biting people out on the pitch. And Stephen Crichton, like you can't really do much about it if someone is doing that to you. Like you can't react in any sort of way. It's a physical game. People are going to get up in your grill. Um, can't get up and fight them type of thing. So you definitely can't bite them. So I guess you just got to get up and hit them with a good shot or something like that. That's about all you can really do at this point. Yeah, you just got to deal with it. Anyway, jumping into round 24, so we got the first game. This is definitely going to be game of the round, almost game of the season. I would say this game between Penrith and Storm is just about a grand final preview if both of them can make it all the way there. I'm going to go Penrith 1 to 12 on this one though. Yeah, no, it should be a close game. I can't imagine this getting blown out either way at all. But both of these teams, I'd say, have looked somewhat shaky over the last few weeks. But I've still got Penrith being well over Storm this season, and the biggest chance to go through and win 4 in a row, which would just be insane. And I really don't see anyone stopping them. And if there is going to be a team, probably is going to be Storm. I think they're going to be turning up big time as well, especially after their performance last week. I don't think Bellyache's going to be super happy with them. There are a few big outs for Penrith as well. Their back rowers, Scotty Sorensen and Liam Martin, both are going to be out, but they do get some all-time names coming into this team with Maverick Geyer and Liam Henry filling in. Both of them have done an absolute job while they've been filling in, while there's been various injuries or players out for whatever reason. Penrith, they've just got that plug-and-play type of system. I think they're going to be able to get it done. You can see what they can do when they're under the pump as well, like last week. I think as well, with them having two, very close games over the last few weeks, I think they want to come out and stamp things a little bit more. Again, they are still missing some bigger players as well. They've still got Dane Laurie filling in at fullback, he's been great, but Dylan Edwards is just top tier. Like, that's as good as it gets type of thing. So that is massive, just the way that he returns the ball. But, better they rest him up. They're locked in for the finals anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much at this stage. Um, and yeah, right now it's not the time to prove the point, I guess, as well. It'd be nice to get the win, sure. But at the end of the day, you want to be saving your absolute best. And this goes for both of these teams to go against each other for the finals. That's really where you want to be doing it. So next game, we got Seagulls versus Warriors. I'm going with Manly 1-12. This one's at Brookie, I believe. Last time they played as well, they drew. So I expect another close one of this one. Warriors have been pretty unlucky for the last few weeks, but they just leave their run too late in the end of the game, like last week. Dolphins, they came back. How many tries did they score? Like in the last 15 minutes or whatever it might have been. And same with the week before. They're just leaving it too late. They've obviously got the points in them. They've got the ability there, but they just need to click a lot earlier in the games. I love this matchup though. Both of them have such exciting backlines and massive bodies in the middle as well, and some class halves to lead them around. It's actually a sick matchup, really. Like, just speed and power in the back line, massive fellas, and then you got like Cherry Evans and Shawnee Johnson in there. That's pretty good. Hopefully, Shaun Johnson is going to be up and running. I think he had a quad strain or injury of some sort last week, so we'll see if he actually stays in the squad. But one thing I would be really interested on though as well would be Lukey Metcalf. If he somehow got back into that squad as well, because he's named in reserves, coming back from a broken leg. I think the last he played was round 4 or something along those lines. So the chemistry though that I find with him and Shaun Johnson just works for the Warriors. It's going to be a little bit tricky, obviously, being out of the team for so long, just gelling with everyone else again. But he was on fire before he got injured as well. So I'd be loving to see him get back in there. But if not, we got Chanel Harris-Tavita in there as well, which I enjoy his matchup with Shaun Johnson as well. But it'd be nice to see Shaun Johnson, get a few wins under their belt before he goes out at the end of the season, obviously. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes. In previous game as well, I got Brian Toto to cross the line, and in this one, I'm going to be whipping the same horse home with Tommy Turbo to get over. Next game, Doggies versus Dolphins. I'm going to go Doggies 1-12. Finns, they are just hanging in there at this point in the top 8, but I think they're going to slip out. I don't think they're going to be able to hold down that spot at all. Doggies, they just don't lose at home. This one is all the way up in Bundy, but hey, look, home game's a home game. They have just been elite at this point. Last time they played was in 2023. They only won by 1 point as well, so it makes me wonder, does Birdo have another field goal in? Because both of these teams have been having some pretty close games. Dolphins in particular, coming off obviously a Golden Point win last round. But no, I just think Doggies are going to be too much. They're far too consistent. Defense, they're all over it. Their attack, I feel like, is just starting to click into another level, especially making this run into the finals. They are just firing on all cylinders. Yeah, I think they're going to be tough to beat. They're going to be pushing for a top 4 spot, and yeah, I can never pick Dolphins. You just never know with them. I swear every time I go with them, they lose. Go against them, they pull out some massive win. It's just one of those teams I find this season. But I'm going to get on the Fox to crossover, if not crossover for 2. Cowboys versus Raiders. This game, it does worry me a little bit, but I am going to go with the Cows 1-12, but I'm really not convinced at all. They could shit bed here big time. Now, Raiders, they could pull an all-time ambush up here in Townsville. Cows, they're going to be looking for a massive bounce back, though, after getting towed up at home against the Broncos last week. And they've been having some serious concerns, and they really have been this whole season. How they've snuck into the 8 kind of baffles me, honestly, but they have had just very sketchy defence pretty much the entire season. It's been an ongoing issue for them as well, and they just seem to be running out of puff around the 60-minute mark in games and not being able to push all the way through the game. And that's where you've seen Broncos come out and absolutely put them to the sword. You saw Tigers, what they did to them the week prior. Even though they won that game, they did give them a couple dramas there when they got a man down. So against the Raiders, Raiders definitely have some strike in them. They've got a big team as well, plenty to play for. I think it's going to be pretty gritty, as all Raiders games are. Yeah, it is one of the Cows. They really need to win this one. It's going to be worrying if they can't bounce back. They're going to be under the pump as well. And when it comes to try scorers, I'm going to go with a Val of possible. Actually, might be signed to Dragons fame now to cross the line for a 4-pointer. Next game, we got Tigers versus Rabbits. I'm going to go Bunnies 1-12. I could see the Tigers snagging this one, but surely the Bunnies can get it done. I can't say this one is an overly exciting game for me. yeah, I really don't have a whole lot to talk about on this one. Obviously, there's all the stuff that's going on with the Rabbitohs at the moment with Latrell Mitchell, but we don't really know exactly what the outcome is going to be. I'll probably have a talk about that at some point. I've got, obviously opinions and whatever on about that, but until we figure out the X's and O's and whatever else, hopefully the Rabbitohs can stand up for him, put on a big performance, but we'll see how it all goes. I'm going to go with Jai Gray to cross over the line. He's been playing very, very well this season, and yeah, Tigers, so we'll see. Dragons versus Titans. I really want the Titans to bounce back after getting fucking pumped last round, but I'm going to go with the Dragons 1 to 12. And part of this literally just goes on that they go win loss, win loss, win loss, and they have pretty much done that all season. And guess what? It's time for a Dragons win. So that's what we're going to be going with. They're going to be standing up for their favourite son, Kyle Flanagan, as well. Poor fella, out 4 weeks after taking a bite of a dog. They can really turn things on. They can really click an attack and put on points quickly. They've got so much strike. They've got guys like Terrell Sloan, obviously Lomax, Benny Hunt there, and massive forward pack to run behind as well. I think they're going to really, really worry the Titans here. I would not be mad, though, at all if the Titans manage to get this one done, but I think it's going to be tough. Dragons, yeah, they're going to be pushing because what are they? They're sitting ninth, so yeah, they're going to be pushing for obviously a spot in the top eight. It's a must win really for them. Titans could really ruin a couple teams' seasons though. Like if they can play, I wouldn't say they're in bad form. Yeah, they got absolutely touched up, but they've won 3 of their last 5. No reason why they can't turn up as well. But yeah, be scared of the win loss prophecy of the Dragons at this point. And I'm going to go with Terrell Sloan to cross the line. Last game of the round, we got Sharks versus Knights. I'm going to go Sharks 1 to 12. Again, this is just a game that I'm not overly inspired for late on a Sunday arbo. But yeah, Sharks, like I've mentioned, absolutely turned up last week against the Titans, putting 40 odd points on them as well. Put on an absolute show without their halves, and that was just not even close. It was never time where you're like, oh yeah, Titans are gonna put on some points. Like, nah, it was just an absolute shutout there. I would love to see the Sharks win purely to give the Broncos any hope at this stage to make the finals. That's not something that I'm necessarily hanging on to at this stage. I've almost after we got pumped by the Dogs, I pretty much was like, yeah, that's about it. I'll always back my boys, but yeah, at the same time, it would not hurt because, look, Sharks aren't going to fall out of the 8 probably at this stage. Well, pretty much impossible for them at this stage, but the Knights, yeah, we'd like to see them drop down even further. So, yeah, I think could be relatively close, but once again, just not the most inspiring game of all time. Shark Park, though, Sharky should be able to get it done. And yeah, we'll see how we go. Who is going to score in this one? I'm going to go with, let's see. I like Talakai to get over the line for this one. He is just a monster. He seems like he's that hard to tackle. So yeah, Talakai to get over. Now, into the tip of the week. I really want to throw everything at this one as well. Surely due for one. I'm going to go with Tommy Turbo to score because he is the old trusty. Fox across the line, Valley Holmes to get over, and Talakai to barge over somebody and slam that ball down for a 4-pointer. Like I said, we're due. See how we all go. Broncos, they're going to win against the bye. We can do it with the points, so nice little rest for the boys as well. So, like I said, make sure you let us know as well in the comments who you're going to be backing this week, what your predictions are. Like and subscribe, and have a good one. Catch you next time.